And that brings us to our next big debate tonight. As the BJP goes after Pranab Mukherjee, has the presidential race turned unnecessarily ugly? Let me ask Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy first. Mr. Rudy, can you explain to us what the BJP and PA Sangma mean when they say that Pranab Mukherjee's resignation letter to the Indian Statistical Institute is fabricated? Because as he says today, how can he forge his own signature? And when you say it's fabricated, what do you mean exactly?
Well, there are a few questions which possibly the returning officer must have considered, and we will have the papers and as soon as possible, because the objections which were raised was on a particular day before filing his nomination. Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the president, and that was a president-elect of an organization in Calcutta, of which he was the chairman. Now, for the qualifications for the post of president says clearly that he should not, and that is treated in that definition as an office of profit under the constitution. So this objection has been raised that he had not submitted his resignation. Now, when this objection was raised, till that time, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee or his representative were not aware that this was an objection which could be raised. Once the objection was raised, there was no proof with them whatsoever. Later, the returning officer did not have any proof of that resignation. Later, they took time and came back with a piece of paper. Now, that letter written by Mr. Pranab Mukherjee to the chairman of Indian Statistical Institute in Calcutta was not numbered. There was no numbering. The acceptance of the resignation was a small scribble made by Mr. Menon. Now, till date, we have not seen Mr. Menon coming and accepting that signature. We do not have any verification whatsoever that the resignation was accepted. It was not backdated. And worse than that, if you can see the signatures of Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, there are two signatures on that same page appended. Now, we are ready to believe him absolutely. But the question is there anyone there in the election commission or the returning officer to verify the signature? We have made a charge. There should be a legal process by which this charge should be assessed and denied.
But are you essentially saying you believe the letter was backdated, that it was actually written much later?
This is our assertion. You see, we have nothing to say, but this is our assertion, and this is what we have charged them. And if that is proven, then his nomination papers are set aside. So, if we have made a charge, we have done it not because we wanted to have some publicity out of it. There is evidence. There is an evidence that Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the chairman, and till yesterday, I can tell you, till yesterday, the website of that organization carried Mr. Pranab Mukherjee as the chairman. So this has created a suspicion. The way the presiding officer then asked the people and the representatives of Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, the way they responded, the way they produced the piece of paper which was produced had varying signatures. There was the acceptance was just a scribble without any confirmation. Now, if you do not, we are not saying, but there has to be an agency, there has to be an impartial agency which has to investigate and say, look, this is a fact.
Let me ask
and even Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi had quit from Parliament because she was holding a office of profit in a particular date when she had filed the nomination. She had to resign.
Okay.
So it could be a mistake. It could have been a lapse.
Okay.
But
so you want some kind of clarity on that.
It's a constitutional fault.
Okay.
Yes, the whole situation is a suspect. The whole situation is a suspect.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.